Om. 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 Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Vandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami Shrutismritipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Vande Guru-paramparam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet.
Hari Om Brahmaraji. I will start from the first shloka.
First shloka, you can chant maybe the first 3 shlokas and then start.
Astu. अथ ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः. अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः. भक्ति योगः. अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ताये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः. श्री भगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः. ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवं सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः. So yesterday we had seen the first shloka. Arjuna said in this manner, there are those devotees who constantly committed, meditate upon you, and also those who seek you as one who is not subject to decline and not available for objectification. Among them, who are the greatest knowers of yoga? After seeing the Vishwara, Arjuna asked this question based upon what he saw. His question proves that the vision did not solve his problem. He still maintained a division. Here, Arjuna wants to know who is superior, a karma yogi who is doing upasana or a jnani. The karma yogi is doing meditation upon the Vishwarupa. The sannyasi is contemplating on Akshara Parabrahma. One pursues Saguna Brahma and the other Nirguna Brahma. Which is better? The question has certain implications. It is not who is the more exalted among these two, but rather who is closer to moksha. Evam reveals a connection to what was said earlier. The reference Shankara says is to the previous verse in which Bhagavan talked about the karma yogi as mat karma krita, etc. By saying, Evam, Arjuna brings to Lord Krishna's mind what was said in the last verse of the previous chapter. Satatam means constantly. Yukta means committed. Those who are constantly engaged in this manner, evam satata yuktaha, performing all actions for Bhagavan, living a committed life of karma yoga as explained in the previous verse. They are bhaktaha, devotees, because they perform karma with Ishwararpana buddhi. Looking, there is a breaking of voice, I believe. If anyone can help.
I can read.
Yeah, kindly. Dhanyavad so much. You can read from the last line, which was on the previous page. I hope the screen adjustment on your screen is okay, in
Yeah,
line with the
yeah.
legibility. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Satatam means constantly. Yukta means committed. You want me to read from here or before that?
Yeah, I think the breaking of voice was just last, no? Or it was from the beginning. I don't know, because if you feel that you can read from the beginning, it is.
Okay, I'll read from here. After seeing the Vishwa, can you just lower it a little bit? Ha. After seeing the Vishwarupa, Arjuna asked this question based upon what he saw. His question proves that the vision did not solve his problem. He still maintained a division. Here, Arjuna wants to know who is superior, a karma yogi who is doing upasana or a jnani. The karma yogi is doing meditation upon the Vishwarupa. The sannyasi is contemplating on Akshara Parabrahma. One pursues Saguna Brahma, the other Nirguna Brahma. Which is better? The question has certain implications. It is not who is more exalted among these two, but rather who is closer to moksha. Evam reveals a connection to what is said earlier. The reference, Shankara says, is to the previous verse in which Bhagavan talked about the karma yogi as mat karma krita, etc. By saying evam, Arjuna brings to Lord Krishna's mind what is said in the last verse of the previous chapter. Satatam means constantly. Yukta means committed. Those who are constantly engaged in this manner, evam satata yuktaha, performing all actions for Bhagavan, living a committed life of karma yoga, as explained in the previous verse, they are bhaktaha, devotees, because they perform karma with Ishvara Ishwararpana Buddhi. Looking upon Dharma as Ishvara. Defining Bhaktas, Shankara says, Ananya Sharanaha, Ananya Sharanaha, those for whom there is no other refuge. Others, the Artharthis, use Bhagavan to assist them in their accomplishments. Their Sharana refuge is in money, power, and so on, not in Ishvara. But those who are desirous of liberation, who are bhaktas, find their refuge only in Ishvara. Gaining him is moksha for them. Besides, doing karma, they meditate, pariyupasate. They meditate upon Bhagavan as one who is everything, as was shown in the Vishwarupa Darshana. I'll repeat the last few lines. But those who are desirous of liberation, who are bhaktas, find their refuge only in Ishvara. Gaining him is moksha for them. Besides doing karma, they meditate pariyupasate upon Bhagavan as one who is everything, as was shown in the Vishwarupa Darshana. Okay, so that's clear now. This chapter reveals many things, but it can be the most confusing chapter in the Gita. Understanding it requires a lot of background. You must know what is upasana, dhyana, karma yoga. You must know what is upasana, dhyana, karma, yoga, and jnana to understand it. What is said here could not have been said earlier because all these things have to be covered. The karma yogis who meditate are one group. The other group, he says, are those who pursue Brahman, that is not subject to change, Akshara, and not available as an object, Avyakta, which is the nature of Atma. Of these, Arjuna wants to know who are the ones who are nearer to moksha. Saguna Brahma and Nirguna Brahma. Throughout the Gita, Brahman is described as Akshara, that which is not subject to decline. Na Sharati iti Aksharam, and Avyakta, that which is free from all upadis, because it has no attributes. But earlier in the 10th and 11th chapters, it was described as having attributes, Saguna Brahma. Do we have two Brahmans? No, we have only one Brahman whose Swarupa is Nirguna, free from everything, pure consciousness. It becomes Saguna because of the Upadi of Maya. Saguna Brahma has attributes. Nirguna Brahma does not have. This is the difference. Avyakta can mean that which is not manifest or that which is not available as an object, which is what is unmanifest can be the cause. What is unmanifest can be the cause, Maya. The Karana Maya is unmanifest and therefore Avyakta. But here, Shankara gives the meaning of Avyakta as that which cannot be objectified. Akarana Gochara. Akarana Gochara. Akarana Gochara. An object of the senses or mind, the instruments of knowing, is called Karana Gochara. what is not an object of the instruments of knowing is akarana gochara. This is not to say it cannot be known. It is just not an object of the instruments of knowing. An object is something that is something other than yourself. An object is something other than yourself, which you come to know through various means of knowledge. But this is you, and therefore not an object. Anything not available for objectification is avyakta. Shankara makes a note about the origin of the word. The word vyakta has the meaning of that which is manifest. It is derived from the root anj. Anj. V plus anj is vyanj. I don't know if I'm saying it right, which has the meaning of to manifest, to be available for objectification. Therefore, anything that is manifest and is available for objectification is called vyakta. And anything that is not available for objectification is called avyakta. Atma is not an object of anything. It is always the subject. Therefore, it is said to be avyakta. Avyakta does not mean it is unknown, only that it is not an object. It is always the Chaitanya Swarupa, the subject. The question is, between these karma yogis who are seeking nirguna Brahma and the karma yogis doing their karmas with Ishwararpana Buddhi and meditating upon Saguna Brahma, who is better? In fact, the superlative affix tama is used. Who are the best? What is the meaning of best here? What Arjuna wants to know is who are nearer to moksha. I have a doubt here because the self can never be known. That's how we have been taught, no? So here it says avyakta does not mean it is unknown. It's just that it is not an object and therefore it is always the Chaitanya Swarupa, the subject. So why does he say that that avyakta does not mean it is unknown? Or does it mean that it is known only to people who are liberated?
Hari, as per my little knowledge, there is Swabhava and Swarupa, right? So Swarupa, as it is mentioned, we are always having that dimension, and we are, from our perception, we always try to see whether we are able to perceive it or not. But if it is you only, you cannot perceive yourself, right? It is beyond the perception. But when
Yes.
it comes to the Swabhava, Sat Chit Ananda Swabhava, it is already known.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Swabhava. The other one is Swarupa. Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone has any doubts? Or should I go continue?
Yeah, Brahmaraji can, whether it is correct or not, can confirm it, our understanding.
No, that's perfect, Bila. That's very nice.
Yeah.
It's already there. The one that is avyakta here, I think he had mentioned Maya, right? So that is the one which is avyakta. But what Ishvara is, is always Vyakta. It's only that because of this veil of Maya, we are not able to recognize it. And all this upasana and all that the Karma Yogi is doing is to remove that veil of ignorance. Ishvara is Sarva Vyapi and he's there eternally. In fact, he's the reason why we are able to even speak. He's the reason why that we are able to listen, hear, everything. It's just that veil of ignorance covers it up. In that sense, it is avyakta. And like Bela said, it is not, he's not an object. Ishvara is not an object of perception. You cannot objectify it because he is you. You are the subject. The knower, known, and the process of knowing, all that merges in that. Yeah.
The jnani is not to be compared to the karma yogi. The Gita looks upon the sannyasi as a jnani because he is committed only to jnana. And Krishna has said, the jnani is himself. Jnani tu atmaiva me matam. A comparison between him and the karma yogi is not valid. Krishna is going to say, the karma yogi, those who meditate upon Saguna Brahma are better off. Krishna is going to say, the karma yogis, those who meditate upon Saguna Brahma are better off. Introducing the next verse, Shankara has this to say. Those, however, who are contemplating upon Akshara Brahma and who therefore have a clear vision of Brahman and are free from three types of desires are to be left alone. I'll repeat. Introducing the next verse, Shankara has this to say. Those, however, who are contemplating upon Akshara Brahma and who therefore have a clear vision of Brahman and are free from the three types of desires are to be left alone. They are already sannyasis. So let us not talk about them here because, as Bhagavan has said, they are myself.
So it is like comparing apples to oranges. So he's saying, leave the jnanis alone. There is no, because that was Arjuna's question first. He says, of the karma yogis who are doing upasana and the sannyasis who are pursuing nirguna Brahma, who is the best? Who is closer to moksha? That was his question after seeing the whole of the Vishwarupa Sandarshan.
What are these three types of desires once again? They are free from three types of desires. Is it that Vitteshana, Putreshana, all that? Desire for attachment.
I think it is Arthi, Artharthi and Jnani. So Jignasu. So those, maybe it's those three. Because there are those four seekers, no? Different kinds of seekers. Jnani is the fourth seeker. So, and Krishna says, Jnani to me, Atmaiva me matam. He says, Jnani is me. So he says, now leave the sannyasis alone. They are not to be compared. Because they are already me, so to say. So
this is the Artha, Artharthis and
Jignasus.
Jignasus. Okay.
I think it is that. I may be wrong. We need to confirm this thing about three types of desires.
And this leaving the jnani, Bhagavan already mentioned in the previous chapter, right? Clearly, that you leave the sannyasi because they are not comparable, right? In previous chapters also Bhagavan had said. Okay, please go ahead, Sumaji.
Yeah, I have a question now. A sannyasi, does he, how does one recognize such a sannyasi who is, whom Krishna says, leave them alone? How do you recognize them? Or how do they know about their own category? Anyway, that's all by the way, leave it. So there is no comparison between them and the karma yogis at all. It is legitimate to compare those karma yogis who are doing upasana with those who are not. Kevala karma yogis. Karma is duty and daily worship. Upasana is meditation. Though upasana is also worship, it is mental worship. So we consider it separately. The karma yogi has Ishwararpana buddhi and recognizes Ishvara as the karma phaladata, the giver of the fruits of actions, and karmadyaksha, the one who presides over the law of karma. Recognizing Ishvara, he does his karma, but whether it is oral or physical, it is not meditation. When the action is purely mental, with Saguna Brahma as the subject, it becomes meditation. If it is
As
where
the
just
Samyakam, as the object, Saguna Brahma as the object.
object, yeah, sorry. Saguna Brahma as the.
Can you just repeat this last paragraph again, Sumaji?
Yeah. Introducing the next verse, Shankara has this to say. Those, however, who are contemplating upon Akshara Brahma and who therefore have a clear vision of Brahman and are free from three types of desires are to be left alone. They are already sannyasis. So let us not talk about them here because, as Bhagavan has said, they are myself. There is no comparison between them and the karma yogis at all. It is legitimate to compare those karma yogis who are doing upasana with those who are not. Kevala karma yogis. Karma is duty and daily worship. Upasana is meditation. Though upasana is also worship, it is mental worship. So we consider it separately. The karma yogi has Ishwararpana buddhi and recognizes Ishvara as the karma phaladata, the giver of the fruits of actions, and karmadyaksha, the one who presides over the law of karma. Recognizing Ishvara, he does his karma, but whether it is oral or physical, it is not meditation. When the action is purely mental, with Saguna Brahma as object, it becomes meditation. If it were just mental activity, then worry also would be meditation. In order to distinguish upasana from karma, it is defined as Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manana Vyapara activity.
Manasa Vyapara.
Manasa Vyapara. Okay, sorry.
This is the definition of dhyana that Adi Shankara gives.
So it is defined as Saguna Brahma Vishaya.
Vishaya.
Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara.
Saguna Brahma Manasa Vyapara. Activity is common to both. If it were just mental activity, then worry would also be meditation. In order to distinguish upasana from karma, it is defined as Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. Activity is common to both. In performing Agnihotra, there is Saguna Brahma Vishaya Vyapara. The difference is in meditation, it is purely a manasa vyapara. In a ritual, it is not. Therefore, whenever you see the word upasana or sometimes dhyana, it means meditation. Those who are karma yogis and combine their daily karmas with meditation on Ishvara will be said here as yuktatmas. Yuktatmas, correct? Will be
Yes,
said here.
Sumaji, it is correct. Yuktatmas.
Yeah, yuktatmas. The sannyasis are not available for such comparison. Suppose someone wants to get a degree. You cannot say those who have gained the degree are superior. You leave them out of any comparison altogether. It is the same with a sannyasi. He is as good as Akshara Brahma. So the question of superiority does not arise. That is the end you want to be. That is why Shankara says tavat, is it? Tavat
Tavat tishtantu. Tavat
tavat
tishtantu.
tavat tishtantu. Leave them alone. Bhagavan will talk about them later. Now he talks about two types of karma yogis in the next verse.
Shri Bhagavanuvāca Maya mano ye mam Nityayukta upasate Shraddhaya parayo vetaste Yuktatama mataha. Ye, those who Shraddhaya paraya, with unflinching faith, upetah, are endowed, mai, in me, manah, the mind, avishya, committed, nitya yukta, being ever united, mam, me, upasate, meditate, te, they, yuktatamah, as the most exalted, me mataha, are considered by me. Ye shraddhaya paraya upetaha मयि मनः आवेश्य नित्ययुक्ताः माम उपासते ते युक्ततमाः मे मताः.
Sri Bhagavan said, endowed with unflinching faith, their minds committed to me, being ever united with me, those who meditate upon me are considered by me as the most exalted. This is my vision. Those who worship committing their mind to Parameshwara are karma yogis, as was said in the last chapter. Shankara says that they are devotees of Ishvara, who is the Lord of all yogis and all exalted devatas, the one who is all-knowing, Sarvajnana, and whose vision is not blinded by the afflictions of raga and so. And so, Sarvajna.
Yeah.
Sarvajna. Though, and whose vision is not blinded by the afflictions of raga. And so, Vimukta Ragadi Klesha
Klesha timira drishti.
Klesha Trimira Drishti. Timira Drishti is vision that is obscured because of cataract. Unlike blindness, it can be corrected by removing the cataract. Bhagavan is described here as the one who does not have Timira Drishti. This is only to say that he is unlike all of us. He is free from the fivefold afflictions, kleshas, beginning with raga. which impair our recognition of Ishvara. Upon this Ishvara, they meditate, upasate.
There is a footnote. Yeah, those 5 afflictions, kindly.
Avidya, ignorance, asmita, egoism, raga, like, dvesha, dislike, abhinivesha, attachment. So I thought fear is also one of the 5 afflictions, kleshas. Raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, asmita, avidya. Asmita is egoism. I still
Bhaya is
got
actually an offshoot of this. Bhaya is an offshoot of avidya, offshoot of asmita, isn't it?
Bhaya, okay. What is the difference between egotism and egoism? Here he says asmita is egoism. And Nanaji had said it is egotism that we have to be
I think it's the same. It is not different. It's the same.
Okay. So Bhagavan is described here as the one who does not have timira drishti. This is only to say that he is unlike all of us. He is free from the 5-fold afflictions, kleshas, beginning with raga, which impair our recognition of Ishvara. Upon this Ishvara, they meditate, upasate. Being karma yogis, they meditate with the utmost shraddha, parashraddha. Parashraddha. Shraddha is commitment to Shruti. Whether they understand it or not, they give credence to Shruti, to the Shruti. They know that they have to understand what it says. This provincial acceptance of the Shruti's veracity is Shraddha. What kind of Shraddha? Para here mean unflinching. Because of this, they can do their karma properly, even though they may sometimes not fully understand. These are definitely considered by me to be the most exalted. Yukta, yuktatma, yuktata, yuktatmaha,
Yuktatamaha.
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 Me mataha.
Yuktatamaha me
mataha.
Mataha. Me mataha. Yuktatamaha me mataha. This is my vision. They are near moksha. Wow. Although those who worship avyaktam aksharam brahma are not different from Bhagavan himself, he does not want Arjuna to emulate them. Therefore, he presents these karma yogis as the one who are near him because he wants Arjuna to follow their example, knowing it is good for him. Suppose a 10-year-old asks, which of the 2 books he should read, Shakespeare's original plays or stories from Shakespeare written for children, you will recommend the children's book because it is suitable for the child. He will understand it and learn something from it. That is the point here. The very fact that Arjuna asks which is better indicates that he needs to follow Karma Yoga. This is better for him. So Bhagavan says, Karma Yogis who are doing Upasana are Yuktatmas. Does that mean the others are inferior?
Ye tvaksharamanirdesyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyam cha kutastachalam dhruvam. Two, however, ye, those who paryupasate, contemplate upon, aksharam, that which is not subject to decline, anirdeshyam, which is not describable, avyaktam, not available for objectification, sarvatra gama, all pervasive, achintyam, achintyam cha, and not an object of thought, kutastham, which abides in maya, achalam, which does not move, dhruvam, which is eternal. Tu ye paryupasate aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam sarvatra gama achintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam.
However, those who contemplate upon that which is not subject to decline, not describable, not available for objectification, all pervasive, and not an object of thought, which abides in Maya, does not move, and is eternal.
Sanniyamyendriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhutahite ratah. Sanniyamya, having complete mastery over. Indriya Gramam, the group of sense organs. Sarvatra, always. Samabuddhayah, those who are equal-minded. Sarvabhuta hite ratah, those who take delight in are disposed to in the welfare of all beings. Te prapnuvanti, they gain. Mam eva, me alone. Sanniyamya indriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayah sarvabhuta hite ratah te prapnuvanti mameva.
Having complete mastery over the group of sense organs, those who are always equal-minded and take delight in are disposed to the welfare of all beings, gain me alone. Alternate meaning: having complete mastery over the group of sense organs, only those who are always equal-minded and take delight in and are disposed to the welfare of all beings gain me. Lord Krishna is eloquent in answering the second part of the question. He piles up all these words just to show that sannyasis is not a matter of choice. Sannyasa is not a matter of choice. It is something to be understood. All these people who worship this Brahman come to me. They are me because Akshara is me. Avyakta is me. Anirdeshya is also me. When they discover the meaning of these words, they discover me. It is not going to separate them from me. Arjuna's question was, which of the two groups was better? Those doing karma yoga, and meditate upon Saguna Brahma for the sake of moksha, or the sannyasis committed to the pursuit of Nirguna Parabrahma, who is nearer to moksha? Lord Krishna said, those who are meditating upon Saguna Brahma and are living a life of karma yoga are yoga vitta maha. Here, he shows that the sannyasis are not available for such a comparison. You cannot compare someone who is the end itself. Those who are capable of Akshara Brahma Upasana are not ordinary people. They have accomplished what these others are trying to achieve. Arjuna's question is like the one once posed in the court of Akbar. Among the rivers in India, which is the most sacred? Everyone said Ganga. But one man named Birbal said it was not Ganga but Yamuna. Everyone turned against him, quoting the Shastra to prove that Ganga was the most sacred. Then he reminded them that the question was, among the rivers, which is the most sacred? And argued that it was Yamuna because Krishna was born and raised on its banks. Since it was sanctified by his presence, Yamuna is the most sacred among the rivers. When asked, what about Ganga? He answered, who says Ganga is a river? Ganga is Jnana itself. It is not a river and therefore cannot be compared to other rivers. Wow. Similarly, there are many types of people doing karma. Some are Nastikas. They do not believe in God at all. They are both ethical and unethical Nastikas. The ethical being superior to the unethical. Then there are the believers, Astikas, devotees who are worshipping Ishvara and doing their karmas. This appreciation of Ishvara only indicates a certain maturity. So they are superior to the Nastikas. Among them, some resort to Ishvara only when they are in distress. The Artha Bhaktas. Better than these are others who turn to Bhagavan not only in distress but also when they want to accomplish something. The Artharthi Bhaktas. Still better are the Karma Yogis who want moksha, which means they want Ishvara. And among these are those who not only live a life of Karma Yoga, but also do Upasana, meditation on Saguna Brahma. They are the best. Yoga Vittamaha, Yoga Vittamaha, Maha, Yoga Vittamaha. That is the answer given by Lord Krishna. Very nice. The sannyasis he treats as jnanis. The tu here distinguishes them from all others. Ye pariyupasate, those who contemplate upon Nirguna Brahma, meaning they pursued Nirguna Brahma by Shravana, Manana. They pursued Nirguna Brahma by Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Which Brahman? Bhagavan repeats the very words Arjuna had used in this question. Akshara, Avyakta. Akshara means that which is not mutable. It is never subject to change. These sannyasis contemplate upon the Akshara Brahma. Then it is Avyakta, not available for objectification as an object of perception. When that is so, how can you describe it? You cannot say it is like this or that. It is anirdeshya, not describable. Anirdeshya. not describable. That is why all these words are negative. Akshara, avyakta, etc. It is not possible to describe it because it is not an object of a given word. Abba,
Ashabda gochara. Ashabda gochara.
Ashabda gochara. Elsewhere, Shankara says, when Brahman is everything and is independent of everything, what word can you use? Any word will be inadequate. Brahman is anirdeshya, not an object of words. Even saying it is sarva atita, sarvatita, even saying it is sarvatita, beyond everything, is only from a standpoint of what you see. You see a world and therefore say that Brahman is beyond the world. In that, in Brahman, there is no such thing as being beyond the world. There is only Brahman. From our own empirical standpoint, we use words to describe Brahman, but in reality, it is Ashabda Brahma Gochara, Ashabda Gochara, Ashabda Gochara, because it is not Shabda Vak, Vak, Vak,
Vachya. Shabda vachya.
because
Can you
it is
please
not.
repeat this paragraph, Sumaji?
Brahman is Anirdeshya. From there? Okay. Brahman is Anirdeshya, not an object of words. Even saying it is Sarvatita, beyond everything, is only from the standpoint of what you see. You see a world and therefore say that Brahman is beyond the world. In fact, in Brahman, there is no such thing as being beyond the world. There is only Brahman. From our own empirical standpoint, we use words to describe Brahman, but in reality, it is Ashabda Gochara because it is not Shabda Vacha. The immediate meaning of any word. Still, as the implied meaning of a word, it is Ashabda Gochara. That is why it
Shabda
is
gochara.
Shabda
As the
Gochara.
implied meaning of a word, it is Shabda gochara.
Okay, as the implied meaning of a word, it is Shabda Gochara. That is why it is described in Viveka Chudamani. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tam Agocharam. Tam Agocharam. That which is not available for any kind of objectification, yet revealed by all the Upanishads. It is their Siddhanta, which is that which is Tat Tvam Asi. Through that alone, you understand Brahman, which is not an object. Consciousness, Atma, is not something in which you will see Brahman. It is not a quality of Atma, which you did not see before and then see after Vedanta. Consciousness, Atma, is not something in which you will see Brahman. It is not a quality of Atma, which you did not see before and then see after Vedanta. It is not like seeing a modern painting. It is not like seeing a modern painting. At first, you see only some colors. Then someone says there is a figure there sheltered in a cave in a mountain. You still do not see anything And so he points out the nose of the figure. Once you have seen that, you look for the eyes and so on, until gradually you see the whole figure and the mountain too. Once part of the picture is formed, the rest is easy to see. Here, the error is negated and the self recognized as the one free from all forms of limitation. Some things, though they cannot be described, can be known, like sweetness. For example, it is Anirdesha. With all her eloquence, even Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, cannot describe sweetness. The only way to know it is to taste something sweet. It is not describable, but still it is perceptual, experiential knowledge. It is not so for Brahman because it cannot be objectified by the senses or by the mind. It is not an object of experience, but the very Swarupa, the nature of all experiences, and is always present. Therefore, how is Brahman going to be seen by the Atma? Atma is Brahman. So this is the state that Buddha was in, I think. So that's what he said, there is no Atma. If Atma as it obtains now, if Atma as it obtains now, in all the periods of time, is Brahman, then with whatever I you are now seeing, that I is Brahman. I'll repeat this. It is not an object of experience, but the very Swarupa, the nature of all experiences, and is always present. Therefore, how is Brahman going to be seen by the Atma? Atma is Brahman. If Atma, as it obtains now, in all the periods of time, is Brahman, then what with whatever I you are now seeing, that I is Brahman. You are not going to see Brahman somewhere as something. The very I that is obtaining now has to be recognized as Brahman. Therefore, when it is said to be Anirdeshya, it means it is not Shabda Vyacha, the direct meaning of a word, but Shabda Lakshya, the implied meaning of a word. This has to be understood because if it is totally unavailable through words, then what is the purpose of the Shastra? If the nature of the Shastra as pramana is not understood, one will conclude that the Shastra is only theory and Brahman has to be experienced. The truth is, Brahman is revealed by the words of the Shastra, not by the immediate meaning of the words, but by the implied meaning. Once you say implied meaning, one can think that it can only be implied, not directly known. But the implied meaning of a word can also give direct knowledge. In a sentence, the white runs. Shveto, Shveto Davati. Shvet, the white runs, Shveto Davati, the person to whom it is addressed understands that the white horse is running. In this context, white implies horse, implies white horse, and the knowledge that arises is immediate. So the person to whom it is addressed understands. So that is why these Shastras are our context. Okay. When a word is meant to imply something, it may take a moment to recognize the implied meaning, but not when the sentence is Tat Tvam Asi. But not when the sentence is Tat Tvam Asi. It is a simple statement of fact which removes ignorance of yourself. Brahman is not a thing, it is yourself. The self because of which you are studying this book. That self happens to be Brahman. The one who is reading the book is Brahman. Shastra makes you recognize that I, the reader, is Brahman. You'll have to raise. I, the reader, is that? I, the reader, is Brahman. And this Brahman is avyakta, not manifest as an object of any pramana. That this Brahman is avyakta, not manifest as an object of any pramana. Even Vedanta pramana does not make it an object. Though through Vedanta pramana, avyaktam Brahma can be immediately known. Upon this Brahman, these sannyasis contemplate avyaktam pariyupasate. Quite heavy, no? Anyone wants to share something? Quite profound. I, the reader, is Brahman. And I'm not an object of avyakta. I'm not an object. So I'm not available for objectification. But the pramana helps me to know this. This is what I got. The Shastra pramana helps me to know this. Tat Tvam Asi. You are. Anyone would like to share? Everybody is silent. Should I continue? Are you all there?
Yes, yeah, very much there. But the thing is so deep. Yeah.
I know the knowledge is so so dense for me at the moment.
Yeah, this paragraph is so deep. Yeah.
What is Nirguna Brahma Upasana? Shankara gives the meaning for Upasana in general. Upa means near, Asana means sitting. So Upasana is sitting near. What is sitting near? The mind, Manaha. Near what? Whatever is the object of meditation. upasya, upasya, whatever is the object of meditation. Wow, I understood, getting to know meditation now. What is the object of meditation? Upasya. The point is, it is purely mental. Mentally sitting near or dwelling upon dwelling upon the object of meditation is upasana. To define it further, Shankara says, upasana is to be done without transgressing what is said in the Shastra. Yata Shastram. Yata Shastram. The upasana is to be done without transgressing what is said in the Shastra. Yata Shastram. It encompasses neither less nor more than what the Shastra says. By mentally objectifying the object of meditation, in keeping with the Shastra's unfoldment of it, you become very near the object of meditation. This is nothing but visualizing and dwelling upon that object of meditation. It is not easy. It is not easy to maintain a visualization because thoughts are constantly changing. Even so, the object of each thought is the same, the object of meditation, upasya. Upasya. It is like the flow of oil. Taila dhara dharavat. Taila dharavat. Taila dharavat. The flow of oil. Just as you see the same oil at any given point, here too you see the same object of meditation in any given vritti. Is even through the vritti, even though the vritti is changing and it keeps flowing sorry, for a length of time. You have to raise this. Could you please raise? Here, the upasya is pratyagatma. Here, the upasya is pratyak atma as Parabrahma. The contemplation of these sannyasis is Aham Brahmasmi. Wow. For them, Brahman, the upasya, is non-separate from the pratyak atma. For them, Brahman, the upasya, is non-separate from the pratyak atma. Thus, they sit with the mind absorbed in Parabrahma. The implied meaning of Satya, the implied meaning of Jnana, the implied where did it go? The implied meaning of Jnana, the implied meaning of Ananta. Wow. Thus, they sit with the mind absorbed in Parabrahma, the implied meaning of Satya, the implied meaning of Jnana, the implied meaning of Ananta. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. It is meditation upon oneself as Aksharam Brahma, which is Anirdeshya and also Avyakta. These are all negatives. At the same time, it is the Swarupa of the Atma. Positively, it is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. If you understand all these, you understand Brahman. Upon this Brahman, these sannyasis contemplate, pariyupasate. For a sannyasi, the mind dwells upon Param Brahma by vichara. The object of meditation is for him the object of understanding. It is not exactly meditation because Brahman is not something that is meditated upon as an object for some result. Understanding that Atma is Brahman, Pariyupasate, has an entirely different meaning. It is seeing again what has been shown through the words of the Shastra. Shravana becomes Upasana. Manana becomes Upasana, as does Nididhyasana. Understanding the Shastra is Shravana. To eliminate any doubt, we have Manana. And to remove the Viparita Bhavana, the opposite attitudes are the Prati
or the Pratibandhakas.
Or the Pratibandhakas. To eliminate any doubt, we have Manana. And to remove the Viparita Bhavana, the opposites attitudes or the Pratibandhakas, because of which there may be difficulty in understanding or in enjoying one's understanding. We have Nididhyasana. The word Upasana is used here for all three of these, but the sense of it is altogether different. It is still valid, though, because there is a pratyaya, a kind of cognition involved in dwelling upon Brahman. Yesterday's class was about Brahman. Today's class is about Brahman. Tomorrow it is again about Brahman. Even while eating, everything is Brahman.
Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi.
Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi. This is how the sannyasi spends his time thinking about it. Thinking about it, tat chintanam. Talking about it. Tat
Kathanam.
Tat kathanam. Kathanam, no? And sharing whatever he knows with others. Anyonyam tat para
Prabodhanam.
Prabodhanam. Anyonyam prabodhanam. Tat prabodhanam.
Anyonyam tat prabodhanam.
Anyonyam tat prabodhanam. This is called Brahma Abhyasa. Because of this kind of commitment to one thing alone, it is said, Pariyupasate. They are always meditating. Only the sannyasis can do this. Others have other things to do.
I think we'll read one more para and we'll stop for today, huh?
Okay. Pari is prefixed to upasate, giving it the sense of totally committed. Generally, the word upasana is said only for the Saguna Brahma, Ishvara. Ishvara with attributes like the omniscience and so on, or the Lord in the form of a particular Devata. This is a true object of meditation. Aksharam Nirgunam Brahma. On the other hand, it is to be known. Jnana. 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 Neya. It is to be known. Neya. Those who meditate Paryupasate upon this Param Brahma should be understood as those who pursue the knowledge of Param Brahma with Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Stop here?
Yeah, I think we'll stop here. So I will just chant the shlokas that we have finished today. I think we covered 4 or 5 shlokas today. So it begins with Arjuna's question. After seeing and witnessing the whole of the Vishwarupa, Arjuna Vacha Evam Satata Yuktaye Bhaktasvam Paryupasate Echapyaksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha. Arjuna said in this manner, there are those devotees who constantly committed meditate upon you, and also those who seek you as one who is not subject to decline and not available for objectification. Among them, who are the greatest knowers of yoga? Bhagavan replies, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Veshya Mano Yema Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Te Me Yukta Tamamataha. Shri Bhagavan said, endowed with unflinching faith, their minds committed to me, being ever united with me, those who meditate upon me are considered by me as the most exalted. This is my vision. Etvaksharamanirdesham avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyancha kutasthamachalam dhruvam. However, those who contemplate upon that which is not subject to decline, not describable, not available for objectification, all pervasive, and not an object of thought, which abides in Maya, does not move, and is eternal. Sanniyamyendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayaha te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite rataha. Having complete mastery over the group of sense organs, those who are always equal-minded and take delight in or are disposed to the welfare of all beings, gain me alone. I think we did the... No, I don't think we've done. We've done only till here, isn't it? Yeah, I think we've done till there. We stopped here. So we'll just close our eyes. I know today's session was very deep. A lot of understanding. So let's just close our eyes. And whatever we have understood, let us come and share. So basically, Arjuna is again in the same boat, even after having seen the witnessed and having the vision of the cosmic form. He is riddled by the same doubt that he had even in the very second chapter. He says, which of these is greater or is closer to moksha?
the one who does Saguna Brahma Upasana, looking at you at the cosmic form, at your vibhutis, or is the one who is meditating upon your Swarupa, which is Akshara Parabrahma. So which of these is the most exalted is his question. Because his mind is on sannyasa, because Bhagwan from the beginning talks of sannyasa and karma yoga. He wants to take to sannyasa because he wants to escape fighting the war, escape committing the sins he thought he was committing by killing his own relatives. But then Bhagwan tells him that these two are not comparable, because he says, Jnani tu me matam. So he says the Jnani is already me. So there is no way you can compare. And that beautiful example of the university student, when you've already attained the degree, how can you compare someone who is in the process to the one who's already attained the degree? You cannot compare them. Someone who's already got the PhD versus someone who's, say, in the middle class or the high school. Similarly, the upasana that Bhagwan has mentioned is of different types. The Saguna Brahma Upasana and what it actually means versus the Nirguna Brahma Upasana. And whether and how Brahma cannot be objectified. And what is the importance of the Shastra. All those Gochara and Agochara, I think it's a good thing to repeat all that again tomorrow, maybe before we go forward. Because like Swamiji said in the beginning, this chapter can be quite confusing unless we are quite strong in our understanding of these words, like what is Brahma, what is Saguna Brahma Upasana, what is Nirguna Brahma Upasana, what is Karma Yoga. All this, we need to have a proper understanding before we delve deeper. Yeah, I would please do share. Anyone else wants to share?
This is what I gathered towards the end, that when you do Saguna Brahma Upasana, you come to that realization, Tvam, what is that? Tattvamasi. Tvam Tattvamasi, yeah? But when you do Nirguna Brahma,
Tvam Asi.
Tat Tvam Asi. That is for Saguna Brahma Upasana. For Nirguna Brahma Upasana, it is Aham Brahmasmi. And I also liked the difference between Yamuna and Ganga. That was very, very nice. That Ganga is Jnana, whereas Yamuna is, what did he say? Where experience. Whereas it is on the banks of Yamuna that the Jnana was, or the love was experienced. And when we say that Brahman is Anirdeshya, that is not describable, then what is the point of all this reading and all that? And therefore he says how we have to take Shastra Pramana, that the Shastra implies, it is not a direct experience, but with the help of the Shastras, you can get the implied knowledge. So that was also very good understanding for me. And then that Bhagwan is Adhyaksha, that he abides by the law that is created, the law of nature. So that is why he abides in Maya. Till now, I didn't understand about.
I think it is Maya abiding in him.
Is it?
Maya abides in him. Brahmashraya Maya.
Okay.
He so does not abide in Maya.
So that is why that law that he has established, that Maya is the veil. see, somewhere he says that there is a sentence which says that something in Maya, that he is behind Maya or something like that. That's what I understood, because
yeah, he of course is the reason why Maya is there. No? He is standalone. Maya
yes,
is like an illusion upon him, superimposed upon him.
yes. And why normal people not able to see him? Because he abides in his own law, the law of nature. That is why he is behind Maya. Therefore, we are not able to see it. He is not avyaktam. Am I right in understanding that way?
He is actually, if you look at it, avyaktam here, I think if we go back, it is what Swamiji mentioned was Maya was avyaktam. It is the aspect of Maya which makes it appear as if he is avyaktam, but actually he is vyaktam. He is there. He is scintillating consciousness in every aspect. I'm speaking, you're listening, we are reading. All of that is happening only because of that consciousness. So it's actually vyaktam, but it is covered by this veil of Maya. Therefore, it appears as avyaktam.
Okay.
Isn't it? That beautiful example, he talks of the modern painting and how, you're asked to see. So initially you just see some color, splash of color. They, can you see that human figure there? Then you say no. And then you point out, you say, I mean, this example I'm giving for the importance of the Shastra. Why Shastra? Shabda Pramana is important. So Shastra tells you, see, look, you can see the nose there. This is the nose. Taking that as the cue, you then search for the eyes, you search for the ears, and then you form the complete human figure from in the picture that you can see. So, but that nose is important. That is the reason. That is the importance of the Shastra. The Shabda Pramana is. That is why. I think the example given was the Viveka Chudamani. I think that beautiful sentence of saying, Brahma is the Shastra Siddhanta Gochara. Actually, he's Agochara. No words can describe him. He's beyond description. But how do we get there? For that upasana, we require the Shabda there. I mean, this example is mainly for the importance of the Shastra.
The other one which you were saying, that Brahman is Vyaktam. And we understand that only when we come to that stage of Nirguna Upasana. Because you are not meditating on an object like the Saguna Brahma Upasana. Here you are meditating on that Brahmam Jnanam Anantam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. You are in that level. So that is when you understand Aham Brahmasmi. I, the reader, is Brahman. Isn't it?
Can you just repeat what you said, Suma?
You said that Brahman is Vyaktam, is there, but the veil of Maya is covering it, and therefore Maya makes it Avyaktam.
Right.
Avyaktam.
Right.
But when we come to that stage of Nirguna Brahma Upasana, that is when we realize Aham Brahmasmi. That is when we realize that Brahman is Jnanam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam.
Right.
And that veil goes away.
Yeah.
It kind of evaporates like the dew. When the sun comes, the dew evaporates like that.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Very nice.
That is why this Brahma Bhyasa, this is so beautiful. I think it's nice to end today's session with this. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So everything is Brahma. So even while eating, that is Brahma. And the sannyasi spends his time doing this. Tat chintanam, tat kathanam, that is he thinking about Brahma. He's talking about it. And he's sharing whatever he knows with others. Anyonyam tat prabodhanam. This is called Vyasa. This kind of commitment to one thing alone is called, said Paryupasate. Sannyasis can do this because they have nothing else to do. They have no nitya karma, naimitika karma, nothing of, no other responsibilities for them. They only pursue knowledge. Whereas for a karma yogi, he includes this in that mat karma krit. Whatever he does, he's got a list of responsibilities to fulfill. So, but in whatever he does, he considers Ishvara as he offers it to Ishvara as Ishvararpana buddhi, and with that prasada buddhi, he takes whatever he comes. So, it's a beautiful read today. I think we need to go through it one more time. It was it's good for us to understand. So should we stop here today and then we'll continue tomorrow? And thank you, Sima, for holding the fort.
Oh, it was very nice, very deep knowledge. And as you were reading it, as we were reading it, I felt that it's kind of what shall I say? Something coming to me and peeling me out. A dense feeling I felt that I'm so dense and I need to peel things out of all that ignorance.
And the importance of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana.
Yeah.
Described, no? Shravana, Manana, to eliminate any doubts. And
Shastram, importance of Shastram.
Yeah.
So powerful it is.
Nididhyasana is when you are able to contemplate upon that by removing all those pratibandhakas, to remove the viprita bhavana. That is manana. And then you enjoy your understanding when you do nididhyasana. Very beautiful.
Yeah, so, and thank you for this company for Manana, because we need each other.
I think, of course. And there's no two things about it. There is, of course, Krishna's grace that all of us are here together. And we'll continue tomorrow. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.